We have a new Pokemon game coming, and it is going to be open world, and that's awesome. The first fully open world Pokemon game, something that, makes a lot of sense. We've wanted for a while here. Look at this nice, beautiful open world we're going to get. They tell us, in fact, they're telling us you can experience a new style of adventure with a world that you're free to explore at your leisure and not in any order directed by the story. Great. That's fantastic. So that's going to be really cool. We get this giant open world to explore it. But I've got some concerns. When you think about open world, when you're designing that kind of game, you actually need systems. And we'll talk about Breath of the Wild, but you need a lot of systems that pull you in different directions so that the world doesn't just feel open and vast and you go, hey, let me fly, teleport, whatever to this Pokemon Center and then run, ride, climb, whatever for 3 minutes to get to this one Pokemon spawn place, go get it, and then fly to the next Pokemon Center, and then run 3 minutes to do it again. That would be a big, boring, empty open world. And open world games know this, and the good ones design around that. You see, if we look towards Breath of the Wild as an example, that they include a lot of different systems, constant distractions where you might generally be trying to head towards a temple, but you get pulled off your route on your way for a shrine. And hey, that's no problem whatsoever. Or you get pulled off your route to go find your weapons that have durability, and you see there's some monsters that have rare weapons, a rare weapon cache over there. Or maybe you get pulled out of the way because you see, hey, there's a treasure chest or other materials that you need to gather, or maybe a great fairy, anything along those lines. And it doesn't take away from the game that you pulled on this side. It packs more into the game. It makes it more interesting. You are happy to be distracted from going towards your main goal to go collect another memory, for example. Or if you prefer a different open world game, or the nuts that you had to go get, perfectly fine. Another example of something that just pulled you aside to go do it. We could look at Genshin Impact, another open world game where you're constantly getting pulled aside for Oculuses or for statues, or to go find dungeons, or to go find materials from monsters that only spawn sometimes, or things that have spawned over here that you need to upgrade stuff. Like, that's necessary, even though the game has a plot that you're trying to go for. You're happy to get distracted. That's necessary for open world games to actually feel alive. So is Pokemon gonna have that? Well, I really hope so, but I look at this and what do we see? Do we see anything to gather here? Like maybe like we had in Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus had some of those systems. They did it by going, hey, to complete your Pokedex, you need to interact with Pokemon in different ways. Catch the same Pokemon maybe 10 times. Beat them with water moves. Beat them with fighting moves. Catch them when they're asleep. As well as you need to gather stuff to make your Pokeballs. That's how they solved that problem, but they were a more limited open world. They were deployed to think open world. So for a true open world, based on what we're seeing, do we think they've got this? I'm a little more worried. There's not. Maybe this is something that, hey, you go mine from this, you throw a Pokemon at it, it mines it, you throw a Pokemon at it, it mines it. Maybe the shadow is some herb that you gather, but I'm a little bit worried. What are we supposed to do on these maps besides just catch Pokemon? Because just catching Pokemon is not going to have a ton of depth. What are we doing on this screen here? Okay, we're sneaking up, that's awesome, but this tree doesn't really look interactable with. If I throw a Pokeball at this tree, does stuff come down for me? If I go press the A or X button at this tree, do I go check on, hey, has something shown up on the tree to, go find a rare Pokemon or to get a nut or something like that? Is this rock something I can get materials from? Is this plant something I can pick? These don't really look from this design like they're things that you would interact with. Could be wrong, but I'm a little bit concerned. Maybe it's just, hey, as we get further along, we'll see more. Same thing here. We're on this screen. Are there treasure chests? Are there treasure? Is that a treasure chest up over there that I'm gonna go find there, and it'll be great, and we'll find I don't know, so a set of Ultra Balls in there? What are we doing with these big empty spaces besides just catching and battling Pokemon? And okay, maybe there's something besides catching and battling Pokemon. Maybe there's trainers we can interact with, but that's actually a little bit of its own problem, where trainers are so incredibly easy to go around in the open world. So we have to find a way to justify interacting with them. So, and again, here's a giant open screen. nothing going on here. Nothing at all going on here other than your Pokemon out here running with you, which is cool. I'm not going to lie. So what systems would they need to be a successful open world game? Well, I'd actually be quite happy, and I'm quite hopeful that we'll get some of these right. We could be in a situation where we look at this and go, what if we look at trainers? That's something that was kind of missing from Legends Arceus. There wasn't much of that. If we needed a system, maybe we go, hey, encourage us to interact with trainers. Sure, they could be the main money supply overwhelmingly, but we could also look at them, and if we can go in any order with our adventure, hopefully that means we can challenge gym leaders in any order, and maybe to accommodate that, they say you need to get a coin, some sort of coin that, has someone on it from having defeated at least 30 trainers, and each trainer gives you a coin, and the trainers, disappear or won't battle you again and respawn every couple hours, something like that, and they're wondering, and that encourages you when you're out and about catching Pokemon, battling Pokemon, to, hey, happy distraction to go chase that trainer down that's only a little bit of a detour out of the way. That would be the type of thing that would be a good system to pull us along in a Pokemon game. But there's plenty of other systems that we could go with in a Pokemon game if we wanted to here. Maybe we set up evolution stones where we go, hey, aren't evolution stones great? But the problem with evolution stones is you hit a situation where you really don't need that many evolution stones to make things that great. So maybe we do evolution stone fragments, and you need to collect pieces of evolution stones to put them together. And then, hey, that way, instead of, hey, I found 2 firestones, I found 6 firestones, I'm done. You're not going to be finding stuff often enough if you only need a few of them, so it's not going to work as a good detour piece. So maybe we do fragments that are somewhat constantly respawning in somewhat random places. That could work pretty well if you did fragments of evolution stones. Yeah, I'm willing to go find 1/4 of a firestone over here, 1/4 of an electric stone over there, and you can have those just be little sparkle type things. Oh, or, they could be in rock, so you throw your Pokeball Arceus style at them, or you go over with a pickaxe. I don't really care, but some way to interact with the world to actually cause us to have these distractions that we're happy to go do, so the world doesn't just feel empty and vast like we have it here. And then if we wanted to go with a third system, well, it's very common in these sorts of things to have some sort of stamina system. Now, does a stamina system really make sense if we're just running around as a trainer? Probably not, but it could make sense for these legendary bikes. Does it really make sense for the legendary bikes if that's all we're using, though? Probably not. I'd expect them to be late game, mid to late game, something like that, and we'd want to start building a stamina system before then. You'd obviously just collect something, sort of like Oculuses, sort of like shrines, that helps you, and then you can turn them in. It doesn't matter. That would help build out your stamina, and maybe it's your Pokemon stamina so that they can climb up walls to get stuff for you, or climb you up walls, or so that you could ride on other Pokemon before these to travel a little bit faster, or so that you can ride on them across a river. You'd need more stamina to actually do the surfing that we might be used to in other games, but they might get you across a river with small amounts of stamina. And then later you might be able to take them up waterfalls, but that's going to take even more stamina. So building out a stamina system, sure, as long as you're collecting something to build it out, that could work, and that would make sense. And then you maybe refill your stamina naturally just by waiting. Maybe you refill it as gasoline of some sort or energy of some sort at the gas station Pokemon Center, since they've sort of made these legendary bike Pokemon a big thing. But who knows? But what do you guys think? Do you look at this and say, oh yeah, Temporal, you're right, that world does look kind of empty. I'm a little bit concerned because it would kind of suck to just teleport somewhere and then run for 3 minutes and then teleport somewhere else? Or do you go, no, that's sort of what Pokemon games have always been? Well, yeah, maybe, but they weren't always open world before. Well-defined, well-done open world games have a little bit more to them. Or are there different systems that you would put in there? Would you say, no, let's just have rare Pokemon like you can see when there's a legendary bird, like Let's Go, and you're happy to detour off to go get it, but you make the spawn rates low enough, like 1%, that it's actually worth it to break off what you're doing to go after those 1% spawn rate Pokemon all the time whenever you see them. Or maybe that's the way, or maybe you do meteor showers. We saw those in Breath of the Wild, but hey, that fits with our alien Pokemon, Clefairies, Starmies, things like that, where, hey, we're going to go to those. We want to get the rare stuff like the Moonstones, like those. So we'll be distracted from what we're doing to go chase them down, etc. Let me know what systems you think they should have in place for this new open world thing. I'm curious, so drop a comment down below. If you're enjoying the content, please do drop a like. I really do appreciate that. And consider subscribing as well for more thought-provoking Pokemon content. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Temporal out.